In Taro Adun, Executor. My gratitude to you for having secured my release knows no bounds. By all the gods, we may win yet. The time has come to let loose the fury of the Dark Templar. Zeratul, perhaps the time has come to tell our friends of the foe we face.
Indeed. When I slew the Cerebrate Onchar, I touched briefly with the essence of the Overmind. In that instant, my mind was filled with its thoughts. And I tell you now, our worst fears have come true. The Zerg were indeed created by the ancient Zelnaga, the same beings that empowered us in our infancy. But the Overmind grew beyond their constraints, and has at last come to finish the experiments they began so long ago.
So you see, my friends, we fight not only to save Ire, but all creation. If we fall to the Zerg, then the Overmind will run rampant throughout the stars, consuming all sentience, all life. It is up to us to put an end to this madness, once and for all.
Our forces shall engage the primary Zerg hive clusters in an attempt to weaken their defenses. Once their numbers have thinned out, Zeratul and his companions can infiltrate the clusters and assassinate the Cerebrates. Adun willing, the Cerebrates' deaths will distract the Overmind long enough for us to assault it directly.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Starcraft. This is the 9th Protoss mission, and we've got an Arbiter. I like Arbiters. And we're up against the Zerg, and we're looking to assassinate some Cerebrates. I've split my forces a bit just to show you what's going on here. To the left we have a Vespian Geezer and some minerals, and to the right we have some minerals and a Vespian Geezer. It doesn't really matter which one you go to first. The right has less minerals, but I think is a little bit less exposed. So I've decided to go right initially. It also means I can build sort of a secondary base in back that's a little bit easier to wall off. So I'm going ahead with that plan, but this is my initial plan, as it were. Secondary plan. If you come back here, you will see a Vespian Geezer. So I'm going to build a second Nexus as well, put myself on no minerals, and just make my probe mine there. It really, you can go either way here. A lot of guides that I've read tend to take you more towards the left, although I don't know. I think it'd be okay to go either way, to tell you the truth here. I think you're less likely to be attacked by flyers from this direction, but I think whichever way you go, it's going to cause you a bit of a, this mission is going to be tough. For the most part, though, this mission's long rather than tough. You will be up against Zerg late game units, so you'll be up against Defilers, you'll be up against Ultralisks, you'll be up against Guardians. So they're certainly a worry. Certainly Defilers. Defilers will use Plague, which is a pretty horrendous ability. I'm just moving my Arbiter over here so he cloaks all my units and telling him to hold position. So that should mean that any Zerg units that come in here will get a bit of a surprise when they get fired into out of the darkness, because I don't think the Zerg bring Overlords with them for a lot of the initial fights, and if that's the case, then the Arbiter's just going to make that super easy. Anyway, there's the first Nexus, so the probes can now return, and you'll notice they did the... Now, for those of you who are super interested in efficiency, they did mine the minerals and just waited for the everything to just waited for everything to mine. So we will keep going. and just start our normal build up here. It is going to be a fairly slow build up because we did spend everything at the beginning, but we've now got the Nexus over there as well, so we don't need to build any more pylons, so we've got the supply. Now just to build get a load of probes. The other thing that I've done, which is a nice trick that I picked up, I've rallied away from the Nexus, because when the probe spawns, it's right at the bottom of the Nexus, which is often where the probes go in to deliver their materials, so that can cause a bit of a problem for you if you are, if you're distracted from the Nexus, you're not quite sure at some points what's been done. So what I have, so I just picked this one up, because it means if you're forced to look at something like a battle or something like that, you'll know which probes are idle and which ones aren't. And unlike in Starcraft 2, which makes it a lot easier for you, you don't have an idle worker button, so you have to be a lot more careful. I am building probes at my second Nexus as well, because I'm going to need that to mine Vespene gas. So what's going to be the plan for this mission? It's going to mainly be, in the beginning, I'm going to build Dragoons for the most part, because the Zerg have a sort of they have quite a good mixture of both flyers and ground forces, and Dragoons kind of work well against the mixed forces. I am going to go all the way up the tech tree though. I am going to go to Arbiters, and Arbiters and Carriers is how I'm pretty much going to end this, and then obviously we sneak through with Zeratul and just win. I'm going to expand early as well. That's going to be the secondary idea, and hopefully that should be shouldn't put me in too much trouble. I don't think you can expand too early, because if you do, you end up with if you expand super early, you will end up being super vulnerable to an attack. So I'm going to definitely build a forge before I attack. Okay, now I've got my 100 minerals. I can just drop an assimilator there. Got a little bit supply blocked here because of the Zeratul there just taking care of business. Although, given the Zerg can't see your units there, they will just go straight for your buildings. So you have to keep an eye on them there. So I won't be expanding until I've got the forge, because I will need to build photon cannons there. Absolutely no doubt about that. So just keep on mining. The Zerg will also use queens in this mission, and boy are they annoying. The Zerg always use queens, obviously, when the AI is involved, but queens are just, I mean, I think I've said this before in other missions, but they never do anything truly devastating, but they're just really annoying to deal with. It's like they're not my favourite unit by any stretch. Still, if the computer wants to use things that are just designed to annoy you rather than things that are designed to actually win the game, I'm okay with that. So I think I've got things mining. I think I've got pretty much a full mine going on there. So 2 gates. And you can see Mutalis firing at the Arbiter, but didn't notice the Dragoons that were playing around with it up there. So yep, 2 gate and then a cyber core is what I'm going to need here. Definitely going to need a cyber core. So okay, I think this is early doing this, unless I'm gonna build, unless I'm gonna get a forge built like now. I think that this might be a little early to be sending Zeratul and the probe out. Maybe not. And that is a forge going down there, so I think that's okay. By the time the Nexus is finished, the forge should be done. I'm just moving my zealots back under the cloaking field. There we go. I've now got the minerals for a Nexus, so we're going to drop it. Leave Zeratul there just to deal with things as they are, and I can put a pylon down as well. I don't think that pylon's particularly well positioned because I'd like to have a row of cannons if I can, and unfortunately that's sort of blocking me from doing it, so I don't think that that's very well positioned at all, but never mind. We'll do what we can. I need a cyber core at this point, and it's really delayed here. It's been delayed quite a bit by the expansion, but no, you do what you have to, and there we go. Trying to get the timing of everything down is a little bit difficult, but I really do need this expansion because I'm going to go Dragoon nuts in the early game here, and I really can't be doing that off one base. I need a lot of units and I need them quick. So even though this looks a little bit reckless, I think that it's okay. And believe me, these cannons will not hold the Zerg for long on this mission. They're just there really as a token force and to expose any defilers or anything like that which are going to get anywhere near me. Just makes things... They'll serve as a little bit of a... wall, and just make it so they can't quite get to my probe line. Although it's definitely going to be a fight if anything comes through here. I'm also going to build a couple of cannons in the back because the Zerg especially like to harass the probe line. So I'll put a couple of cannons here and they will be able to take out any Mutalisks or anything like that. Come on. Okay, so I'm building probes, and why is that probe inactive? It should not be inactive, it should be mining. It's not like an SCV where you need it to actually build the building. Come on, this is painful, get it mining. There we go. I think I do the same rally trick on this Nexus. But anyway, that's the setup, and now what we've got to do is make Dragoons, and many, many Dragoons. Oh, here's the first sort of half major attack from the Zerg. Fortunately, the Zerg really are not very good against... Zerglings and Hydralisks do not really fare well against equal amounts of Dragoons and Zealots, so I'm quite happy to take that fight if I can. And I'm going to build a robotics facility because I'm going... Not necessarily because I want Reavers, but I definitely am going to want Observers. The Zerg burrow an awful lot, and Defilers can be a major pain in the backside, so... And here you go, just Dragoons, Dragoons, Dragoons coming out here. And here you go, you can see the aerial harass that the Zerg do, but I'm prepared for that, so... Never mind. And you can see this isn't a, you know, this is not a quick map. You know, this is a big map. But this area is not covered by detectors, so Zeratul's just going to go ahead and do his thing here. You can see he does 100 damage per warp blade strike, and I think that damage is done really weirdly to Zerg buildings. I think the first damage does more than it should do, if I remember correctly. You'll see it when I take on the Cerebrate with Zeratul later. I'm pretty sure the first shot does more damage than it should do. But I mean, either way, Zeratul takes out a sunken colony in 4 shots, Reduces Zerg visibility a little bit. He's just going to have a little bit of a poke in here. Okay, that's far enough, because there'll be some... Oh, there's an Overlord there. Sugar lumps, the Overlord found him. Now, whereas Zeratul probably can beat what's chasing him, the Dragoons are going to have an awful, a much better chance of beating what's chasing him. Oh, they're going this way, are they? Well, Zeratul can handle that. One thing about upgrades in this game, Dark Templar get the leg upgrade. They follow the same. They get a speed upgrade from the Zealot. So if you get Zealot leg upgrades, your Dark Templar will move quicker as well. So the Zerg have run into my photon cannon wall here, but I don't think it's going to stay up too long. Certainly not in the face of that Ultralisk, but Zeratul's going to do his thing here. Yeah, what 4 photon cannons can't do, Zeratul can do. He's a badass, no doubt about that. Okay, so that is where we're going. Let's rebuild the photon cannons and just move Zeratul back behind them. He's going to pretty much defend that base on his own. Okay, so I'm going to build a couple of observers. And I'm going to build a Stargate back here because carriers is what I am going to end up going into. So that's sort of preparing for the next phase. The initial phase is going to be an attack using Dragoons. It's a very late Citadel of Adun. I think that's mainly due to the fact that I was more interested in getting Dragoons out onto the field and getting observers onto the field than I was in actually upgrading my unit. But obviously I have to get that before I get a Templar Archives. There's +1 air going down just so that, this is all in preparation for when I bring carriers into the fray. At the moment, Dragoons are going to be where I am in the early game. If I can get one Zerg base using the Dragoons, I will be happy with that. That'll put them on the back foot, and then I can just finish off from there. It's pretty much all about putting them on the back foot. You can see that there's kind of a valley that you go into up the middle. I won't say what it looks like, but there are 2 Zerg bases on high ground to the left and right, and I'm going to take those, although one is mineral rich and one is Vespene rich. So you have to take both of them, and that accounts to pretty much a second base at that point. Okay, Templar Archives, meaning that I can't do Archons, I just simply can't, but it does mean that I can upgrade level 2 weapons, which will be the next idea. You'll notice my observer over here, I think, is hidden in my mineral line, which sort of blows, but hey. Okay, and another Nexus. It does seem a little bit weird putting down a Nexus just for a Vespene Geezer, but they have positioned them so far apart that it's actually efficient to do so. Plus it does give you a little bit more supply. Oh, yeah, not good. Zeratul can handle that. I might want to build a shield battery just so that Zeratul has a... just so that Zeratul has a way to go. Ugh, Guardian. And now witness the most pathetic battle in the history of Starcraft. You have an Arbiter where its photon blasts do 10 damage, and you have a Guardian which can't attack air units. It's like, this is pathetic. Oh wow, I didn't notice this was... Look at Zeratul just ripping through them. Zeratul's just like, sure dude. Look at the Guardian's not taking any damage whatsoever, but it doesn't matter. See if I can kill it with the Arbiter before this scout gets built. Go Arbiter. Believe me, Arbiters actually are worth it when they have their special abilities, but it's a little bit high on the tech tree at the moment. Don't forget the AI, when it has Arbiters, starts them out with all their abilities intact. Whereas obviously that doesn't happen here. Although I can't say I've seen the AI use recall. At least not on vanilla Starcraft. I've not seen the AI use recall. I'm actually going to punch this Guardian into the path of the Dragoons. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Now you're screwed. Wow, what a pathetic battle. Never mind. Zeratul, get back in here. You're someone who actually knows how to get things done, right? Okay, rebuild the cannon wall. Again, it's more harassment measure more than a super, you know, more than sort of a super deadly thing. It's just let's just form a little bit of a blockade here so I can get stuff out and build a couple of probes so that I now have a little bit of access. Okay, so I can do a little bit of scouting with my scout, funnily enough. And I'm gonna upgrade my observers as well. You can upgrade their speed and their vision, which makes them a little bit less than a little bit less useless, but they're pretty good either way. Attack coming in bottom left, Ultralisk again, Zeratul, fix it. Oh wow. This is some properly nasty damage that's coming in here, and they're going to be able to see Zeratul as well because of that Overlord, but never mind. Zeratul's going to show them how they do things Dark Templar style. Yeah, hack at the Ultralisk's ass, that's what you do. Still, I think he's got about 20 kills, hasn't he, Zeratul, at this point? He's not doing too badly for an old geezer. And finally, the army of Dragoons is on the move. I'm going to send an observer with them because the last thing I want is to get unburrowed on. And obviously, moving this many Dragoons is going to be a pain because the pathfinding in this game isn't great in the first place, and Dragoons are known for having like the worst pathfinding of any unit in pretty much any RTS ever. So, but hey, they're cool. So, all right, let's get mining that Vespene. And here we go with the first attack. And you'll notice I'm against red and white Zerg at this point, so please tell me I sent an observer. I'll be really embarrassed if I didn't send an observer with this lot. Also the range upgrade on the... Ah, I finally get it at this point, yeah. Yeah, that was poor from me. I really should be... you should pretty much send a... you should send an observer with pretty much any attack that you're doing against the Zerg, just because of all the burrowed units and everything else. And hello! Great Uncle Tusky is getting involved. Oh, he's dead. Okay. Also, it allows you to avoid things like this, where there's sort of really weird vision cones. Did my observer make it over there? Oh, there he is, yeah. Uh-oh. More Tuskies. I think I'm getting a little bit distracted. Oh no, my observer. No, it lives. Good. Unlike that Guardian. Right, let's take out this. Should be able to take this lot out without too much trouble. There that goes, and now the hatchery can go. But you'll see this is more a Zerg. Oh, double spawn broodlings, bloody queens. You'll see this is more an outpost than a base. There's nowhere that's being mined. I should really get my units together. Oh my god. Zerglings. Oh, plague from a defiler as well. This is a crap ton of Zerglings that have come down here. I think I can hold against it. Yeah. It's going to do damage to my forces for sure. It's going to do a lot of damage, but it's also going to take out a lot of Zerglings. Zerglings in large numbers are a pain. Have I destroyed that hatchery yet? Yeah, there it goes, finally. So, I'm not sure how I'd describe this attack really, because I've lost a lot of it, but I've taken out I've taken out the first Zerg base, or the first Zerg hatchery, so it's one less hatchery. I'm actually going to pull my Dragoons away. Let's rebuild. I can stack up, and you'll notice that while I've been attacking over there, I have been building carriers. So that's sort of a first hurrah. And for some reason the Zerg just aren't interested in my observer there that can now let me know exactly what's coming this way. Okay, so I think that was okay. I wouldn't call it super successful, that first prod, but it definitely got the job done. It killed a hatchery off, it killed some colonies off, and it killed quite a lot of Zerg units. I'm going to kill those queens. I don't care what I have to do, those queens are going to die. I'll just send carriers in, it's fine. Okay, so now we're just going to have a poke around up here, just so we can see what's going on. See, there's a little bit of creep here. It's not really a Zerg base up here. It's just a load of colonies for the most part. Hydra. And yeah, you can see it's just like sunken colonies and various other things over here. It's not really it shouldn't really be too much of a challenge to take down. It's just getting over here that's sort of the issue. Having a good look around. I do like observers for that ability. I think it's really nice. Okay, so we can bring him back. And build another carrier while I'm not doing anything over here. I am just upgrading carriers, weapons and armors while I'm here. And you'll notice that my observer has 1 health here. That is due to plague from a defiler. The plague basically it goes through shields and does damage. It can't actually kill a unit, but it does a ton of damage. It will basically reduce whatever it hits to 1 health. And against Terrans, that can be even worse because it can actually make it. It can make buildings burn to the ground, so that's obviously really annoying. But you'll know I have found some minerals, and I am happy at this revelation. And I start building shuttles, which I'm not too sure I actually want, to tell you the truth. I think that building shuttles here is a little bit of a waste, and there's an Arbiter Tribunal. That will be necessary. And there's a robotic support bay. That'll be in case I want faster shuttles. But still, carriers do what they do. But they're not going to be what I use for this initial attack, because that would just take me too long to get up to 12 carriers, and I'll end up running out of resources quicker than I would want. So what I'm going to do is use an Arbiter. So what can an Arbiter do? An Arbiter can recall. So check this out. Teleport successful, I guess. I should actually float my Arbiter over here with these guys, so the Sunken Colony... Well, the Sunken Colony will still be able to see them because of the Spore Colony. And the Spore Colony would end up killing the Arbiter, which would be remarkably annoying. But the Arbiter is basically just it's a space wizard, pretty much. Okay, so that is that mineral patch liberated. So I can get over here and expand there. And the next thing I'm going to want to do is recall all my forces over to the other side and take out that Vespene geezer. So Arbiter's been plagued, but it doesn't matter. Such a cool ability. It is such a cool ability. And now you can see I've actually got the Arbiter following my guys, because you saw the Sunken Colony didn't even take a shot there, and that's because it didn't see them. I love that. It's just using one Dragoon as bait coming out of the cloaking field, and then suddenly you realise there's 12 there. 12. That was a bit unnecessary. But you can see because of the Spore Colony, the Sunken Colony can actually see the Dragoons here, so let's kill that. And since I'm up here with the extended Dragoon range, I'm just going to be annoying and take out this extractor. And then I get to massacre a load of overlords who wandered places they shouldn't. I haven't researched stasis cell for the Arbiter yet. I probably should, just because it's a quote unquote oh shit button. Where you will end up, where sometimes you'll get in a battle that either you can't win or you're in danger of getting flanked, and that can really make the difference. No, Uncle Tusky! You losing quite a few overlords here, which is good. I like it when the AI loses overlords. That's nice. And you can see there's a bit more of a Zerg presence on this island than there is on the other one. I don't think that's going to matter, really. Just going to kill everything that's here. And how did you drop that Ultralisk suddenly? So it's not like they're actually doing things. What? Seriously? That Sunken Colony can see us from up here. We can't even fire at it. That's ridiculous. Anyway, let's back off so that the Sunken Colony won't spear anything. And, oh, Lonely Hydralisk. So that's him gone, and we can now expand to this area as well. Oh! It's okay, Zeratul got this. Zeratul in. It's okay, bro. I got this. Yeah, the attacks from the Red Zerg are beginning to really sort of dwindle down now. I don't think it's because we've done too much damage to him. It's just because, we've gone on the offensive, so the AI tends to back off when you do that. I'm a little bit weak back here at this point because a lot of my forces are away, but still plenty to take out whatever. Still plenty to take out that small little run. And I've now got 8 carriers, which is good. And oh, this is ambitious. I think it's because I have It's basically because I now have access to that other Vespene refinery. That means that I can... Because I have access to that second Vespene refinery, it basically means I can just about manage to get Archons, or at least a couple of Archons. And one thing that does make Archons especially sweet for me is that Queens cannot spawn Broodlings on Archons. And I just like taking out Guardians whenever I can, because Guardians are like super annoying to me. And it looks like the Brown Zerg has just decided to drop some stuff, which is nice. I mean, he's just giving me like free units here that I'm not going to have to kill later. But sometimes it is quite amusing where you just sit on high ground using carriers or some air units, and the AI figures that now would be a good time to drop against you. So I'll just kill all the things that you're dropping with. So thanks for wasting an absolute pile full of units. Again, could send the Arbiter with them. I think that would be quite nice. But what I'm actually going to do is send a... Yeah, kill Queens. What I'm actually going to do is set up a couple of shield batteries here. Run, probe, run! He got out of there. Plague from the... And you can see how fast my carrier's health is ticking down. Observer. Go and figure out what that... Actually, I'm going to build another... I'm going to... yeah. I think I can afford to upgrade my observers now if I want to. And those three carriers hit by plague are all going to end up all red. It doesn't matter, still got shields. Shields are good. Now I think it's time for us to take out a base. At least to take out the red Zerg. If we can take out the red Zerg, that... The red Zerg are pretty much the only one who will attack you through the course of the game. So, if you can... you know, if you take out the red Zerg, then you're pretty much immune from attack for the rest of the game. Then all you've got to do is find a way of busting down the white and brown Zerg's defenses. Like 10 carriers is pretty excellent. Just getting the observer upgrades there. Observers can be very expensive units to get upgraded, but they are, you know, they are pretty worth it in the end, because you know, the extra range and the fact you can see burrowed units when you come through on an attack like this is really worth it. I mean, they're cloaked as well, so they're not as vulnerable as they should be. And they're just really, you know, they are cheap to build as far as units go. It's, you don't have to give them all the upgrades, but for like 75 gas and 25 minerals, they're a pretty solid investment. Just wish they weren't quite so far down the tech line sometimes. I think that's been changed in Starcraft 2. They're a lot earlier up the tech line, because detection was pretty hard to come by for the Protoss early on. And yeah, this is just the this is pretty much just the slow Imperial march of death for the red Zerg here. Oh no, he's bought the power of what, 3 Mutalisks? The Glaive Worm's super funny in this because it bounces off to your intercept. It's like, tell me how your 9 damage or whatever's going to hurt. Okay, so I have in fact exceeded the psi limit, so that means that I'm at 200 pretty much now. So, yep, moving across the battlefield like just a psionically powered battering ram. Not much in the way of minerals, but again, I could expand here if I wanted to, but I really don't see the need. This force that I have now is more than adequate for taking out what's left of the Zerg. Just healing up at shield batteries. Always worth it. Ooh. Ah, queens. You know what happens to queens? Die. No! Why did you run away? Why did you attack a guardian instead? Guardians are useless. Well, they're not useless, but they are at this point. Yeah, I would drop your things that you have in you right there. The one downside to carriers, boy are they slow, but you know what? They're worth it. They are totally, totally worth it. I mean, it does seem, it's one of those things where you often feel, and again, it's like, if all I need to do is build up to 200, 200 and throw, then that's not, you know, you don't need to use too many tactics, but really, in all these real-time strategy games, the difficulty, hello Defiler, the difficulty is mainly in the, or for the most part, the difficulty is in the early game, where you are trying to survive and expand. Once you've survived and moved into a position where you can expand, it really doesn't matter at that point. It doesn't matter what... it doesn't matter how you end it. It's just a case of getting to a point where you've stabilized, and that's where the quote-unquote skill is, I suppose, when you're fighting the single player. Unless you're on a time limit, all you need to do is stabilize. And once you've stabilized and got your economy going, you will just rip the AI to shreds in this game. Oh, we've got an attack going on over there at that point, where it looks like it's under control, and we can now, at our leisure, take out the Red Zerg completely. Looks like one of the carriers has just decided to attack a spore colony. Obviously got a bit offended. Like that, they all swoop in on the other and they go, "Oops, we've run out of fuel." And Greater Spire gone. I'm being very, very methodical here. There's really no need to be as methodical as this. You can just go in and just slaughter if you want to, but it's not 100% necessary. And the Arbiter just showing like how little firepower it actually has. It just has no firepower whatsoever. So do not rely on Arbiters as your attack unit, shall we say. They are a spellcaster, that's pretty much all they are. So I think that we have taken the Red Zerg pretty much out of commission here. There might be like an outpost here or there, but as far as a credible threat goes, that's the end of them. Oh, and they did rebuild the extractor, so kudos to the AI. It knows how to build buildings. So just out of being petty, I'm going to destroy it again. Okay, so that gets us pretty much where we need to be. Let's head up here, because this is where I'm going to attack the White Zerg from. The Cerebrate is in the top. The Cerebrate is basically in the top middle of the map, and I'm gonna have to clear out a lot of things around it because there's a lot of detection around it. So, you know, in order for Zeratul to sneak in there and do his thing, we're going to need to get everything out of the way, basically. Honestly, there's no real way to sneak Zeratul in because there's just way too much detection in the area. You know, there's overlords, spore colonies. And the Zerg themselves, the Cerebrates themselves are actually detectors as well. Oh, I think I lost an interceptor there. I mean, the Zerg are losing everything, but there's the Cerebrate. But instead of what happened in Mission 3, or was it 2? 2. Instead of what happened in Protoss Mission 2, where you killed the Cerebrate and that was the end of the mission, this Cerebrate, I think you'll get to see it, but this Cerebrate will actually reincarnate on the spot if you kill it. Oh, I lost a carrier. It was one of the plagued ones, but hey. A little bit careless. Yeah, the Cerebrate will actually just straight up reincarnate on the spot unless it's Zeratul that destroys it. Which can be really annoying because if you're using the attack general area command, the carriers will just keep attacking the Cerebrate even though it's completely and utterly like useless to do so. Okie dokie, let's get moving with this carrier and build a backup one. But yeah, the Cerebrate's under all of that somewhere. How about we kill the hive so that the white Zerg can't build any more units that will threaten our carriers. There we go, very nice. Oh, one of my carriers is getting damaged there, so its shields have obviously failed, but don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. Don't know how many times the Cerebrate's probably been killed and reincarnated at this point. It's just, probably just saying to the Overmind, please just let me die, it hurts so bad. Another carrier's taking damage, so, yeah, oh, this one's walked right into the middle of a load of spore colonies, so that was a bit stupid, but hey. Yep, there's the Cerebrate. No, why are you killing it again? Stop being really vindictive. There you go, it just pops right back up. So I'm telling the carriers to attack individual buildings now because that will stop them from actually just continuously killing the Cerebrate. Okie dokie, so I think we need to get Zeratul in here now. Look, there's just this huge block of green on the mini-map. You can see my observer doing work there. It sees the things that are buried. There is an observer in there somewhere. Oh no, there he is. Hero observer. Oh, I didn't realise there was a base here as well. Cheeky. I should probably have an Arbiter just float on over there and recall Zeratul. In fact, I'm going to build another Arbiter. I don't know why, I've got a perfectly good one already, but I think that one's poised for a different mission at the moment. And okay, so that is the end of that, I think. You see, it's just like 12 carriers will just stomp on pretty much anything. Unless the enemy has like 500 million Scourges waiting for you. The Zerg really don't have a good answer to sort of a massive fleet of carriers. I mean, I suppose Terrans can go with battle cruisers and just try and like Yamato cannon them down. But even then, you're sort of up against it by doing that sort of thing. Carrier's still on the prowl, and you'll notice Zeratul making his way up the minimap there. Screw you, Zeratul, you can walk. Again, this is the initial secondary base I've got that's coming in here for the Zerg. I'm taking that out first before I assault the primary base. To be fair, the Brown Zerg primary base is probably the heaviest defended of the bases, against a carrier attack, that is. I think they've got a bucket load of Scourges. Well, the one thing you will notice, the Zerg never macro hatch. You know, they only ever have their like one hatchery per base. But yeah, we're pretty much in slaughter mode at this point. You know, spore colonies do tend to chase interceptors, so you've got so much, you know, it's not just the damage you get with carriers, you also get the interference as well, because, you know, the guys just run interference for you, which is amazing. The interceptors just run interference for your characters, so carriers, so the ships have to, the AI has to target you down, or anyone dealing with characters, they have to focus fire the carriers. Because the AI just isn't really that specific. And kill another Ultralist just because. Ah, it's an Arbiter, it's not Zeratul that I was getting to this location. I thought for a second it was Zeratul. And oh, drop. Well, that's the end of this base, I think. Yeah, that's like 10 Zerglings or something. That's bad news. Oh, Phoenix! Phoenix, no! No, Phoenix, run. I can take out one Zergling. There you go. Okay, no, he can't help against this. He cannot help against this. Okay, I'll let this get massacred. There's not really much... not really much point in doing anything else here. This is a really stupid idea. It'll get Phoenix killed. And space magic. Yeah, that base is done. Never mind. It's mined out. Don't care. Zeratul. Time to kill a Cerebrate. You notice that first shot, as I said there, from Zeratul, 100 and... I think I said that earlier in this video. It's like that first shot from Zeratul, I think, did 125 damage as opposed to 100. So, you know, it is what it is, I suppose. And this time, this Cerebrate is going to stay dead. One down. I'll have him stick with the Arbiter. You just stick over there for a second, Zeratul. I think it's time we finished off the Brown Zerg base. So, as you can see, this mission, it's long, you know, this video's gone almost an hour. So, it's definitely long, but there's nothing tremendously arduous about it once you get past the first sort of... Once you get past, I think, the first, I would say, 10 minutes, or... No, maybe longer than that. Once you get past the first sort of 20 minutes, if you can do that without too much issue and you get an expansion up, then you're doing just fine. It doesn't look like there were Scourges up here. Maybe I was thinking of something else. I honestly thought there were a lot of Scourges at this base, which was one of the reasons why I was holding off so much with my carriers, was wondering if I had a better way in, but it doesn't look like it, and really this is going to be a stomping. The Brown Zerg don't have anything left at this point. In fact, the Brown Zerg really didn't do much throughout this mission. You know, they had a lot of resources at their disposal, but in the end, just nothing. And the Cerebrates is pretty much laid bare. I'm just focus firing down the spore colonies because they're pretty much the only thing that's going to cause an issue here. In fact, what I could do is just take out all the spore colonies, all the overlords, and then just walk Zeratul in. Don't really need to destroy everything, but you know me by now, we're nothing if not vindictive. Now I can take out the hive. Make sure no reinforcements at all. Not like there would be reinforcements anyway, or what reinforcements could do, I honestly don't know. And I think that might be the final Ultralisk we kill on this mission. And just to save a couple of minutes again. Yeah, see again, 130 damage on the first shot. I keep telling you this. We're going to take out the second Cerebrate. So 21 kills for Zeratul. He did a really good job holding that second base on his own. And that's going to be it for this mission, guys. And next time it will be the final mission in its entirety. I think I've only edited out a couple of seconds or so. I've not edited out too much, probably when I was having a little bit of a computer skip. So, but it's going to be in full, and we will be assaulting the Overmind directly. So I will see you next time, guys.